Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Bahasham Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all your sincere Kiam. This is your brother Abawang back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Bahasham Racha Kodash. And I just did this video because I just saw this individual, man, that was the spitting image of leprous. Okay, like I know, like this dude, man, had that disease through and through, and it was all over him. And this is an example of what the scripture is talking about. A great example of what it's talking about. It says that somebody became leprous, white as snow, because not just the skin, but the hairs as well. It changed its color to be it have that appearance. So this is the book of Leviticus 13, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, When a man shall have the skin of his flesh, a rising, a scab, or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priest. And if you really want to go into it, when you talk about leprosy, it's a bunch of, you know, it's a, let's just get the word in the Hebrew, the word for leprosy. And let me just go through these precepts so that you have an idea of what this leprosy actually is. Because when we talk about leprosy, especially in the scriptures, what you are talking about, the disease they call it now is either albinism, okay, or even, vitiligo. I bet that's what they call it, vitiligo, or vitiligo, something like that, where your skin, loses its pigments. That's exactly what it means to be leprous. So this is the word right here, leprosy. In people, a malignant skin disease. In clothing, a mildew or mold. In buildings, a mildew or mold. And the word in the Hebrew is sh. That's the I. Then the Hebrew is sha, sa, slash not sha. Saraath. It's like a Tazaraath. That's the word in the Hebrew for leprosy. Tazaraath. Continue on. Now Leviticus 13, verse 3. And the priest shall look upon the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin, it is a plague of leprosy. Right, so basically it's talking about how the plague appears. If the plague turns your hair white, and really what it means is blonde, not actually white, but if the plague turns your hair blonde, okay, the hairs that are on the skin where the disease may be, and if you're looking at it, it looks like it's more than skin deep. That means, if they open up the skin, you go lower than the surface of the skin, and you can still see you still see the plague there. That makes it the plague of leprosy. And the priest shall look upon him and pronounce him unclean, because it was unclean to have to be leprous. Basically, it being a skin disease, okay, it being a disease, an actual disease. Now Leviticus 13, verse 4. If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hairs thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that had the plague 7 days. And basically, this is now going to it that if the hairs on the skin is not white, but it's still the normal color, which is black, as you can see, okay? Because you have to now explain to me what other disease, okay, how the leprosy, the modern leprosy that we know, which is basically a bacteria that eats skin, that eats flesh, can be, is similar to what we are reading here. Because there's no part of the scripture that tells you that when somebody is leprous, they lose part of their flesh, whether it's their hands, their face, all their extremities. That was their, pieces of them. I don't know how to explain it any better, but all their extremities. That was their hands, their toes, right? and different outer pieces of them. Okay, and let's continue going on. But before we continue going on, I want to also get something else as well, which is that should be dog dog go. Hold on. I don't know why sometimes this phone is doing like this. It won't open up the previous tabs I have. And here it is right here, the etymology for leprosy. And I just want to say that, have nothing against that individual, but man, his appearance is the perfect example of what somebody that is leprous looks like. And especially since he was born with it, and that makes him a clean leper or a clean leper, but he is still leprous. So this is the etymology of the word leprous. Tazara. I think that's how they say it in the Hebrew. Just read it now, but try to keep it in my mind. Leprosy, name given to various chronic skin diseases later in more restricted use, probably from leprosy, first used in Coverdale Bible, where it renders the Hebrew word kara'ath, which is once again tazara'ath. The modern day Hebrew is an incorrect, the modern day Hebrew is an incorrect pronunciation with different, wrong pronunciations of the various words and the use of other vowels that aren't in the scriptures, which apparently was a comprehensive term for skin diseases, also known as Hansen's disease, for Norwegian physician Gerard Henrik Amor Hansen, who in 1871 discovered the bacillus that caused it. And the what is being called leprosy today, like I said, it's a bacterial disease that eats the flesh. Okay, so let's get that as well. Let's let me just open that up so I can just show you actually, what they consider leprosy today, which is basically like I said, a skin eating disease. Let me just I don't want to show you actually any images because when it's nasty, it looks nasty as hell. Okay. So instead what we'll do is we just go and get a few definitions. And the word here is Hansen's disease, leprosy. The CDC has not issued a travel advisory for Florida or any state due to Hansen's disease, leprosy. Yeah, you have this plague of leprosy. Okay, this is their own leprosy. We'll call it Hansen's disease instead of leprosy. But you have this plague of Hansen's disease breaking out in different parts of the earth. Like for example, like in California, like it happened in Florida. I believe it was a few weeks ago. I can't remember the exact time. But yeah, Hansen's disease, also known as leprosy, is very rare in the United States with less than 200 cases reported per year. Most people with Hansen's disease in the US became infected in a country where it is more common. In the past, Hansen's disease was feared as a highly contagious, devastating disease, but now we know that it's hard to spread and is easily treatable. Hansen's disease does not spread easily from person to person. You cannot get Hansen's disease through casual contact, such as shaking hands, sitting next to, or talking to somebody who has the disease. Prolonged close contact is something with someone with untreated Hansen's disease. Over many months is needed to become infected. Around 95% of all people cannot become sick because they are naturally immune. Hansen's disease can be cured with antibiotic treatment. Once someone starts treatment for Hansen's disease, they can no longer spread the disease to other people. Let's just say, here it is. Hansen's disease, also known as, and you know what it's known as, but it's not actually leprosy that the scriptures speak of, is an infection caused by a slow growing bacteria called by Mycobacterium leprae. It can affect the nerves, skin, eyes, and lining of the nose, nasal mucosa. With early diagnosis, the disease can be cured. People with Hansen's disease can continue to work and lead active lives during their treatment. Hansen's disease was once feared as a contagious and devastating disease, but now we know it doesn't spread easily and treatment is very effective. However, if left untreated, the nerve damage can result in crippling of hands and feet, paralysis, and blindness. That's basically what leprosy is. All right. So let me now go to back to the oh, hold on. Let me go back to yes. Let me go back to Doctor Go, and we'll continue going into this word leprosy. Okay. The Middle English name for the disease was leper, from Old French lepre and Latin sea leper, but as the sense of this shifted after late to mean person with leprosy. Okay, let me just confirm one more thing first because I did say that leprosy actually causes, let me take that. Hold on, let me just look for it. I said that leprosy is a bacteria that eats the flesh. So let me just make sure that that is correct. So let me just try and confirm this. Let me just try and confirm this. Yeah, so I don't believe that. Hold on. Okay, trying to look for symptoms of leprosy to see if it's yes, okay. Leprosy is an infectious disease that causes severe disfiguring, skin sores, and nerve damage in arms, legs, and skin areas around your body. Leprosy has been around since ancient times. Outbreaks have affected people on every continent. Okay, leprosy symptoms. So leprosy primarily affects your skin and nerves outside your brain and spinal cord, called the peripheral nerves. It may also strike your eyes and the thin tissues lining in the inside of your nose. The main symptom of leprosy is disfiguring skin sores, lumps, or bumps that don't go away after several weeks or months. The skin sores are pale colored. Right. And the inside below deeper than the skin. Right, right. Okay. So that is the idea of what leprosy is and what it looks like. Okay. Or rather Hansen's disease. That's what it is and what it looks like. And you have to go through all these things now to probably get the understanding of what the scriptures is talking about. And this is albinism, rather an article for of what albinism is written by the Mayo Clinic. Okay. The term albinism usually refers to oculocutaneous albinism (OCA) is a group of disorders passed down in families where the body makes little or none of the substance called melanin. The type and amount of melanin in your body determines the color of your skin, hair, and eyes. Melanin also plays a role in the development and function of the eyes. So people with albinism have vision problems, right? And basically, what leprosy is, and this is exactly the true definition of what leprosy is. And like we always say, Edom is a clean leper, which is why you have Edomites with blonde hair and blue eyes because they don't have enough melanin. It's like not enough. We know how these devils operate. They have no melanin to make their hair black and their eyes black and their skin darker, or rather to make their hair black, their eyes black and their skin darker. Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, that is why they are. That's why they are leprous. And it is, and once again, going back to the scripture, to tell you that leprosy is the plague of the skin. Symptoms of albinism are usually seen in a person's skin, hair, or an eye color, but sometimes different people in different symptoms, but sometimes differences are slight. People with albinism are also sensitive to the effects of the sun, so they are at a higher risk of getting skin cancer. Also, although there is no cure for albinism, people with the disorder can take steps to protect their skin and eyes and get proper eye and skin care. Right, so that is telling you or showing you that what Esau Edom is a clean leper, because Esau Edom is also an albino, or rather he has the disease of albinism, to a where his skin, his hair, his eyes lack, or rather just simply he lacks the melanin that gives people that pigmentation. And this should also be evidence for you, because when we see that, oh well, the so-called white man is this, the so-called white man is that, it shows you that all the genes that you sincere demons out there in the world love of this devils, okay? The pale flesh, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, it's all recessive, and it's all genetic mutations that were caused by a lack of this melanin, which all human beings should have. We show you that Jake is the originator, not going to be raw pro black, pro black unconscious and start talking about them. What do they call it? The melanin and the power of the melanin and this and things like that. That's we're not doing all that. But what we are focusing on, you have to call a speed, and be honest about it. That these devils have this plague of leprosy on them, and this plague of leprosy, this is exactly what it is. And let's get another precept. So yeah, we'll start from here. So this is the book of Numbers 12, and we will start from verse 9. We don't need to get the whole story, but let's just see that this is a punishment for rebellion. The Most High put the plague of leprosy upon Miriam for speaking against his man, or the man of the Lord, as it is written. But he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Numbers 12, verse 9. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not this sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. Right, and that shows you, like, and even the scripture studied that Esau and all these albinos, and I don't, they have that wasted away flesh, because aside from the fact that they are lacking this very important, melanin. Okay, I'm not trying to get pro black or anything like that. I'm talking about how melanin does this and melanin does that, and and how it makes you spiritual, and how you can't be an Israelite without melanin, which of course is false, but it is a fact that this melanin is vital. Okay, because not only does it give you the pigmentation that you need to protect yourself from the sun, but it also gives the hair and the eyes that pigmentation as well. And it is a well-known fact that human beings that are born with with their blue eyes, the green eyes, the pale eyes, have eye problems. Or just get blind earlier than those that are born with black recessive genes. Is all I'll say. So yeah, I'm just I don't really want I didn't really want to make this video too long, but you have to get all the different translation just to show that this leprosy isn't just dealing with, like I was saying, this leprosy isn't just dealing with some bacteria, but rather it's also dealing with your skin color. Okay, so this is the book of Exodus 4, and I'll start from verse 6. And Yahweh said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. Okay, so if we compare Hansen's disease to albinism, and we are looking at the description of leprosy, we understand that one is not like the other. Okay, and what the scriptures describes is not Hansen's disease, which is a bacteria that causes sores and affects your hands, affects your nose, affects really it affects your your nervous system, causing nerve damage, which is probably why when you see a lot of leprosy people here in Nigeria, their hands are usually cut off, because of the nerve damage. Okay, which is why I believe that it was yeah, usually look like it's actually having cut off because of the nerve damage.